and I was born and raised in Bali for all my life. For that's 20 years now, and having to live with the local Balinese people has been a blessing to my life. I consider myself as a Balinese more than as a Westerner, just because when I grew up here, when I was a kid, I never knew how to speak English, so my first language was Balinese. So back in the days, the first school I ever went to was going to a Balinese school for a few years, and that's how I grew up pretty much for the first 10 years of my life. It was living with Balinese people, which were my parents' pembantu, like housekeeper, and that's because my mother passed away when I was very young. I was almost 1.5 years old, and my father gave me to a housekeeper to take care of. So I started living in their house, eating their food. So life began like that, and I used to call my father a tourist. I was a white kid in a kind of a, let's say, a black neighborhood, and thinking that I was black as well, which was everybody was very friendly to me, and nothing ever happened to me. Everybody in Bali is so beautiful, very kind, very open minded people as well. Anything you need, they're always there. It's like always blessed, basically. Living up here is like always blessed every day. Art and creativity in Bali plays a big role. I mean, for what we receive here and all the types of art and different creativity you can find in Bali, I mean, it's amazing, When creativity came in to me was I started realizing my mother was an amazing artist, a painter, and I knew this when I was a bit older, of course, when I passed my teens. And then I started doing my own art. I started doing my own painting. I followed up what my mother used to do. When I finish my work, I always create something that I always give to someone because I was thinking about them. So every painting that I have, I always give away. I never sold any of my paintings. So yeah, I mean, that's the whole point for me to paint. It's to paint, and it's like a blessing, same thing. So you do something and you give it away. Then I started doing photography because I saw so much pictures in my mind wherever I walked, wherever I looked. It was just amazing every moment, and I wanted to capture every moment. And I started realizing these moments and these acts once I've started my painting, So I got a camera one day and started shooting, and now I'm doing all different sorts of photography. But my personal work that I like to do with photography is to combine photography and art. I never went to university. I went to college in photography, which was a whole, excuse my language, but it was all bullshit. And it's paid heaps of money about it. And in the end of the day, you don't have to study to do something. It depends, of course, it depends on what you do. But if we are in the art form, in the art world, I believe that school is not the way to go. You can do a bachelor, you can do whatever you want to do in university, graduate on the highest standards, but you come out with nothing. I really truly believe throughout all the people that I've met in the most poorest places, they have the most amazing talents. The difference between a professional and an amateur, really, I mean, I have seen both works. I have seen all different types of works from different types of levels of people, and I really got to say, truthfully, there is no difference. When I do my photography, I press the shadow when I get a blink, which means when I see something, and I just see that light and just goes, wow, that's amazing. And when that light is there, I click it, and it's automatic. It's in my second nature. That's in everything. Light is life. Every time that I hold the camera in my hand, I always try to do something new. Always. But some people just goes, you're crazy. But it's great, because they've never seen that type of work, and I get a comment from them. It's not like, yeah, it's great work. For them, they say you're crazy, or and you're out of your mind, or those are the words that I look for, because those are the dangerous words. And when the danger comes in, I like it. For the young artist that's growing up and young creative people, as a 20-year-old, my advice to those people are do as much work as you can. Never keep your old work in your room. Always spread it. So what I mean by that is, once you finish your work, give it away. Give it away to a family friend. Do something with it. Spread your word around, and always think about other people.